Welcome to Wellywood Wargaming, where the grim dark never sleeps. Crack open a bottle of wild snake and spark up a low stick as we take a journey down Underhive.
Howdy Hive Scum. Now, ever since the latest Apocrypha Necromunda, Bone Dry and Broke, came out with the new and updated rules for Venator gangs in Necromunda, I've been going absolutely crazy, building gang lists and ideas for new gangs for Necromunda. I absolutely love the rules for Venators, and I've got 2 gang guides that you can go and check out as well if you haven't already, but the options are absolutely limitless with Venators now, and they are not only the best gang in the game if you really want to go down that path, but they're also the most fluffy and the most adaptable and the most customizable gang that you can possibly create in Necromunda. So what I decided to do is a battle report here, pitting 2 very opposite sides against each other in the scenario Tech Raid, which is also from another Apocrypha Necromunda here. Now what we're going to have is 2 abhuman gangs, yin and yang, against each other. We have the incredibly shooty Ratlings with lots and lots of bodies and numbers, very, very shooty indeed, this gang list, against a very close combat and scary Beastman list here as well. So in this scenario we have Tech Raid, which is scenario 108. Let's go through Tech Raid scenario and I'll explain the sort of gang lists that I've got here, and I'd really like to know what you think down in the comments before you watch this battle report, who you think's going to win in this one, because these are 2 very opposite gangs and this could go either way. I think both are very, very powerful in their own way, and it's going to be really interesting seeing how these dice unfold in this game. So first, for the scenario, we have the Tech Raid scenario. If you can't find this scenario, it is available for free as an Apocrypha Necromunda on the Warhammer community, and it is entitled The Last Charter. Now we're going to ignore the fluff in this one, and we're going to take the bare bones of this scenario to recreate a fairly balanced sort of scenario in this one, with a defender and an attacker. The defender being the Ratlings and the attacker being the Beastmen in this one. Now I'm going to use a 3x3 tile Sector Mechanicus board in this one, and we are going to place 6 loot caskets on the battlefield. Each of these loot caskets must be placed at least 6 inches away from any battlefield edge and any other loot casket. No other loot caskets are placed. So 6 loot caskets in this game. In terms of the crews, the attacker is custom selection 7. With only 6 fighters, they will get the full crew, and the defender uses random selection D3+2 with the rest of their fighters as reinforcements. In terms of deployment, the defender will deploy their starting crew within 3 inches of a loot casket. The attacker then picks a battlefield edge and deploys their entire crew within 6 inches of it. In terms of gang tactics, I'm going to avoid using them here because I just think it adds an extra level of complexity to already a fairly complex one in this gang matchup. The battle ends if at any round only 1 gang has fighters remaining on the battlefield, and if at the end of the battle the attacker has at least 3 Archaeotech Hall points, then they are the winner. Otherwise, the defender wins. Now this is a one-off battle, so credits, experience and reputation won't count for anything in this one. Home turf advantage goes to the defender here as well, meaning I think they roll 2d6 and choose the lowest here. I could be wrong on that one. And the special rules here are hunt for Archaeotech. The attacker is trying to recover lost pieces of Archaeotech that are rumoured to be held by the defender. Whenever an attacking fighter opens a loot casket, instead of rolling on the loot casket table, roll a d6, and on a 3+, they have found a piece of Archaeotech. Increase their Archaeotech Hall points by 1. Note this roll will suffer a -1 penalty if the loot casket was opened using the smash crate as well. So a 4+ to open with a smash, and a 3+ if you open with intelligence there. So the Beastmen probably will be smashing these open, I imagine, if they can get anywhere near them. The defender cannot open loot caskets for any reason in this scenario. The defender can use reinforcements as described in the battlefield setup and scenario section of the Necromunda rulebook. From the 2nd round onwards, D3 fighters arrive at the start of each end phase. If either gang voluntary bottles, then they lose this game. Okay, now let's go and have a look at the 2 very, very opposing and different gang lists here. First, the defenders, the Ratling gang. We have a leader here, Ratling Hunt leader at 260 credits with a fighting knife, 2 frag traps which can be set on the board at deployment, and a hotshot las gun and a stub gun with dum-dum rounds. So absolutely armed to the teeth there. We also have flak armor, low sticks, and a Necromundan giant rat, and you'll see what I'm doing with that giant rat by the end of this list. The leader comes with hip shooting, meaning that he can move a whopping 12 inches and still shoot his hotshot las gun off as well. So a pretty good leader there. Very, very fragile with only strength and toughness 2, but he does have 3 wounds. It's worth noting there as well. We've got 2 champions here. The first Ratling champion in at 215 credits comes with a mining laser. Now, what I'm using here is the Kill Team Ratling sort of tank buster gun, I believe it's called, which is kind of like a slightly less powered las cannon, I believe, in 40k rules. So we're going to use a mining laser here, which is strength 9, -1 to hit at long range, -3 AP and 3 damage. So pretty nasty on a guy who's got ballistic skill 3+. He's also equipped it with an infrasight and the marksman skill as well, meaning no target priority. Doesn't mean anything here. He can just shoot anyone he wants. Also, we've got the second champion here at 100 credits with a hotshot las gun, as well as a gutter forged cloak and the infiltrate skill. So very, very saucy, shooty gang so far. We've then got 7 Ratling Venator gangers here. These come in at only 20 credits each, and when you give them each a hotshot las gun at minimum, they only come in at 55 credits. So a fantastic ganger here. Their weapon skill 5+, strength toughness 2, and only movement 4, so pretty damn weak. However, they have got that average ballistic skill of a 4+ as well. And when you consider the 18-inch short range on the las gun is pretty damn good. Strength 4, -1 AP, lots and lots of DACA in this list. And then lastly, we have the giant rat, which counts as the pooch from the Ratling kill team there as well, a little pug. So 10 fighters and a pet, that is absolutely huge and incredibly shooty. What could possibly survive an encounter against this very, very shooty gang? Let's go and have a look at the Beastmen. Like I said, polar opposites here, we have a Beastman gang, and this one is made up of Beastman Venators with a total cost of 1,000 credits as well. We have the Beastman leader here coming in at a whopping 310 credits. He comes with the renderizer. It's worth noting here, by the way, I have slightly cheated by giving my Beastmen access to the Goliath list here. I know that you can only give the regular Venators a house legacy, but in this case, I don't think it's a problem. I just wanted to go with fluffy stuff, and the models are WYSIWYG armed with Goliath gear here, the way that I've converted them as well. They are taking suboptimal equipment, so I think that it's okay giving them access to some of this Goliath gear, just so that they can do it on the model. So the leader coming in at 310 credits has a renderizer serrated axe, which is, strength +2, -1 AP, 2 damage, pulverize. It's also unwieldy though. We have a combat shotgun and a stub gun on this guy as well with flak armor. It's worth noting that I've upgraded him to a psyker as well and given him hallucinations telepathy skill, which is very, very powerful indeed. With his willpower of 7+, it's not amazing, but should this come off, he can make people insane from 18 inches away. So really, really good. His skill of choice here, because we have a very small gang of only 6 fighters, is Iron Will, adding 1 to those bottle checks, so counting as a gang of 7 as opposed to the gang of 6 that it actually is. We then have 2 Beastman Venator champions here. The first one at 175 credits comes with a Gore Drinker axe, which is strength +3, -1 AP, 2 damage with reckless and rending. Pretty cool weapon, this one, from the trading post. And he's also got a stub gun, flak armor, and a dose of Frenzon. It's worth noting that Frenzon is, Beastmen are immune to the negative effects of Frenzon, so they can't get addicted to it. That doesn't really matter in this game, but we're going to be taking Frenzon on both of the champions here because it is just so tasty to do so. I've also given this champion Sprint. As they're only movement 4, I want to get these guys into close combat as quickly as possible. So not only have they got the 4 skills that you get from Frenzon in Nerves of Steel, True Grit, Berserker, and Unstoppable, meaning that they're usually standing, this guy can sprint a whopping 12 inches as well. So he's getting across the board, and he's going to need to get wiped out before he gets in your face. The other champion is very similarly armed. He's 170 credits with a 2-handed hammer and a stub gun, also with flak armor, Frenzon, and sprint as well. So 2 equally armored close combat champions. It's worth noting Beastmen have a special rule as well. When they take a flesh wound, their base attacks go up. So you combine that with Berserker, we get a hell of a lot of attacks here. So really, really nasty in close combat should they get close to these Ratlings. We then have a Venator Beastman specialist here who is armed with the Crumper Rivet Cannon, which is an interesting weapon that I haven't really used much. Again, it's a Goliath weapon here, so I am kind kind of cheating, but I think it's okay. It's an interesting weapon. You can move and shoot with it, so it's more like a special weapon than a heavy weapon, really. It's pretty cool, though. We've also got a stub gun and flak armor on this guy, too. And then we've got 2 Beastmen as well. The first one armed with a stub cannon and stub gun at 95 credits with flak armor, and the last one at 105 credits, coming with a heavy club and stub cannon with flak armor there as well. So only 6 fighters. Much more geared towards short range and close combat in this one, with 2 of these fighters dosing up on friends on and being very, very scary. It's going to be really, really interesting where this one's going. The Beastmen will need to smash a bunch of crates and kill all these halflings, and the Ratlings just need to keep them at arm's length, try and pin them and get those lucky injuries with their hotshot las guns there as well. So what do you think, guys? How's this going to go? Let's go and have a look at the setup and deployment now. A look around this 3x3 board now, and we have 4 randomly selected Ratlings, 2 champions and 2 gangers in this instance. Each of these has to be set up within 3 inches of one of the 5 loot caskets. So without any idea where the Beastmen will be coming from, we set up in a spread out sort of formation across the board. The mining laser through the center here, and we have the infiltrating champion up on the left, up high in sniping position. The 6 Beastman Venators are set up within 6 inches of the far board edge. Over on the far right, we have a Beastman Ganger up on the platform, as well as below him, one of the Beastman Champions, as well as the leader through the center there, the Beastman Specialist next to the leader there in the center tile. And over on the far left, we have another Beastman Ganger with the stub cannon, as well as the 2-handed hammer champion over on the far left. As we get into the game, the first thing we need to do is roll for priority here. The black dice will be for the Beastmen, and in this instance, the Ratlings will get it in turn 1. First shot of the game will be the Ratling Ganger with a red beanie on, who takes a shot at the Beastman Ganger over on the far right. And that will hit, triggering an ammo check. The ammo check is good. Needing a 4 to wound here, strength 4, toughness 4, and the wound roll is good. Flak armor does no good here at -1 AP, and this will be straight to the injury roll. And the injury roll is a flesh wound, first blood of the game. Goes to the Ratlings. Taking a flesh wound, this Beastman now adds +1 to his attack's characteristic for the remainder of the game. In response to that, the Beastman leader takes a 4-inch move and then attempts to trigger hallucinations, his weird power, needing a 7+ here. A 6 will be no good against his willpower. Another Ratling Ganger this time aims his hotshot las gun over at the Beastman Champion. Due to a little bit of cover, we'll be hitting at 4s here. Now we're going to be hitting on 4s here due to soft cover, and the hit is good. Will it wound though? The wound roll is a 1, unsuccessful, and the Beastman Champion remains standing. The champion with the 2-handed hammer uses his sprint skill to go for a massive trot 12 inches over to the bottom of the stairs. The pinned and flesh-wounded Beastman Ganger now stands and moves forwards in an effort to get closer to these pesky Ratlings. The Ratling Champion Sniper then moves into position on the edge of this platform to get a better shot. A long-range shot of 24 inches into the far-off distant Beastman Ganger. Because he's a champion, he'll be needing a 3+ to hit here. A successful hit is made. With the wound roll being unsuccessful, this is a pinned Beastman Ganger. In response to that, the pinned Ganger stands and moves forward 4 inches. The Ratling behind the cargo crate then takes a move action to climb up the stairs and reposition this turn, abandoning one of the loot crates. The second Beastman Champion over on the right now with the Gore Drinker Axe takes his sprint action, moving 12 inches over in behind cover. Unfortunately, this turn the Ratling Champion with the mining laser sees nothing and remains stationary. The Beastman Specialist with the Crumper Rivet Cannon then takes a cheeky little climb up the stairs using all of his movement, climbs to the top of the ladder and unloads. Not in short range though, unfortunately. Just out of short range, we need a 4 to hit here, and a 5 is good. With 3 on the rapid fire dice, this could be painful. At strength 4, these will be wounding on 2s, and of course all 3 of these will go through. With 6 damage dice to roll on this poor Ratling, is there any way he can survive? Absolutely not. He is obliterated by the Crumper Rivet Cannon. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a dead hobbit. All that remain of this Ratling are his little hairy feet. A fairly destructive first turn, the mining laser unfortunately unable to shoot, but one Ratling killed by the Crumper rivet cannon and a flesh wound taken on one of the Beastman gangers already. This is turning out to be a nasty affair. No points yet from any of the loot crates either. No reinforcements this turn, and now we roll for priority, and the Ratlings will snatch priority away in this second turn. Retaliation comes. The mining laser targets the Crumper rivet cannon Beastman here, just inside 24 inches. At -1 to hit at long range, needing a 4+ to hit here, and he will miss. A huge miss for the Ratlings. The Beastman chieftain finds he is just in range with the template on his combat shotgun and sprays up at the Ratling with the red beanie. As the Ratling ganger is in hard cover, he will gain a 5+ save should these wounds go through. No ammo check, but 3 hits go through here. 3 hits going through, wounding on 4+s with strength 2 against toughness 2, and 2 of these will go through. With 2 5-up saves to be made here. One of these saves is made, an injury roll now comes, and a flesh wound is rolled on this poor little Ratling ganger. Toughness 1 now. The Ratling goes prone and now has to pass an initiative check in order to not fall, which he passes on a 3+. The gang leader's second activation is a move. The now toughness 1 Ratling stands and shoots back at the ganger that he earlier flesh wounded in turn 1. Needing a 3+ to hit here at short range. And the hit is good. An ammo check needs to be rolled. The ammo check is passed. With the flesh wound, strength 4 against toughness 3, we are wounding on a 3 here, and the wound roll is good. Another injury roll to be made here. And a serious injury is the outcome here. The murderous Crumper Beastman then takes a move action in towards a loot casket, ready to smash next turn. The infiltrating, sniping Ratling champion now takes an aim action and targets the second Beastman champion over on the left. Hitting a 2+ here, this should be easy, and a 4 is rolled. Wounding on a 4 here, and the wound roll is no good. And a cool check for Nerves of Steel here comes up a 10, and he is impervious to being pinned here. In response to that, the Frenzoned champion Beastman here takes his sprint action again to move 12 inches all the way up the stairs next to the second loot crate. Just in at long range, and aim and shoot into cover here from this Ratling ganger now onto the Crumper. A 5+ will be needed here, aiming and shooting into cover. We roll a 1 and the shot goes wide. The seriously injured Beastman ganger now takes a crawl action down the stairs. The second Beastman ganger with the stub cannon on the left here now takes a move action too. The last Beastman to go is the second champion with the Gore Drinker axe, who uses his sprint action to get 12 inches of movement in towards the enemy. As he finishes his movement next to the booby trap, should it go off on a 4+, he will be hit by the frag trap. A 6 is rolled and the frag trap is triggered. A 3-inch template is placed and will be wounding on a 5 here with strength 3 from the frag blast. But a 3 is rolled. The cool check for Nerves of Steel here comes up nipples, and he is pinned from this frag trap. And the Beastman champion goes prone. With the Beastmen advancing up the board in towards Ratling territory, the Ratlings are now counting on getting some reinforcements in this end phase of turn 2. Beastmen doing pretty well so far in this game. We now roll a recovery roll for the Beastman ganger, who is seriously injured on the stairs. And a flesh wound comes up, meaning he is now toughness 2. But he's back in the game. D3 reinforcements for the Ratlings now, and we get all 3. These will be randomly selected from the remaining fighters. 2 Ratling gangers and the leader with his pet Pooch turn up in this round. The first Ratling rolls a 6. The second Ratling rolls a 5, and the leader rolls a 6. All 3 reinforcements choosing where they will be deployed. With the reinforcements now deployed, we roll for priority, and the Beastman will get it in the case of a tie. The first action is, of course, a loot crate smash from the Beastman champion with the 2-handed hammer. 4 is rolled on the smash, and a 6+ is rolled, and the Beastmen will get their first point in this game. Beastman champion's next action is to go off the edge and drop down onto the ground level. The mining laser now goes off, needing a 5+ to hit here, and we roll a 6. At strength 9 against toughness 4, we need a 2 to wound here. 5 is rolled, and this is going to hurt. A whopping 3 damage, and we get a serious injury as well as 2 flesh wounds. No crate smashing for this little billy goat. The double flesh wounded Beastman stands and then takes a move action to the bottom of the stairs. The sniper champion then takes a shooting action against the Beastman ganger here, hitting on a 2+, he rolls a 6, and wounds on a 4+ here as well. Black armor does no good here, so straight to injury in this instance. And another serious injury is rolled here as the tide of battle turns towards the Ratlings. The Gore Drinker Axe Beastman champion then stands and moves into position for next turn. Another Ratling ganger repositions on the bridge and shoots down at the two-handed hammer wielding Beastman champion here, needing a 4+ with a little bit of cover here. He misses and an ammo check is required. Needing a 4 up, the ammo check is good. The Beastman leader then moves into position behind these pipes and uses his weird power, telepathy hallucinations in this case, needing a 7+ against his willpower stat. Boxcars rolled here, triggering Perils of the Warp. A 10 is rolled on Perils of the Warp, and this means that the weird power will go off if a successful willpower pass is made. However, at the end of this, the Beastman leader will go prone and pinned and take a strength 4 hit for his troubles. The willpower check is good, and the Ratling ganger with the red beanie is now insane. Strength 4 hit now from Perils of the Warp, needing a 4 here, and the wound roll is unsuccessful. He does remain prone and pinned, however. A Ratling reinforcement moves to the edge of this walkway and pings off a shot with his hotshot lasgun down at a Beastman champion. Needing a 3+ to hit here, and the hit is good. Wounding on a 4 and a 3 is rolled, no wound here. Is the champion pinned with his nerves of steel, needing a 6 up here, he rolls a 10. He is still standing and impervious to these hotshot lasguns. The seriously injured Beastman ganger over on the left now takes a crawl action into cover. The Ratling leader then shuffles onto the gantry and takes a close range shot at this Beastman champion with his hotshot lasgun. Needing a 2+ to hit here, we roll a 5. The wound roll is no good, however, with a 2. Another cool check to be made for the Beastman champion with nerves of steel. And a 7 is rolled. This guy really is unflappable. The next activation is the Pooch, who moves in front of his leader and owner. The Ratling ganger then takes a double move action to climb up on top of a cargo container. The Beastman specialist with the Crumper then takes a crawl action further into cover. Insanity roll to be made here for the red beanied Ratling, and he rolls a 3, meaning that he is under the control of the enemy for this turn. Rather than turning to shoot his own fighter, they are choosing to make him move down onto the ground level for easier prey this turn. A fairly eventful turn with Perils of the Warp triggered. We have 2 seriously injured Beastmen in this one, an insane Ratling, and some huge stuff happening in turn 3. First and foremost, we have a bottle check to be made, and a 3 is rolled for the Beastmen. They are good for this turn. First ganger over on the left rolls a flesh wound and is recovered, and the second ganger also rolls a flesh wound. So both gangers are back in action, taking a flesh wound for their troubles. Toughness 1 now on the Crumper. Reinforcements roll for the Ratlings now, and they will get all of their remaining reinforcements in this game. With both of the Ratling ganger reinforcements now deployed, priority now, and the Ratlings will get it in turn 4. First things first, the Ratling leader takes a close range shot at the champion bearing down on him, and he misses with a 1 here. A 2+ was needed, and he misses. Huge moment. His second action is then a move to move further away from the Beastman champion. The Pooch then follows. It's the Beastman champion's turn here. He needs a big charge to pull this off. He is going to climb up and attack the Pooch if possible. A 5 or 6 needs to be rolled here on this D3. The 6 is rolled, and we have close combat for the first time in this game. If you're not a fan of cruelty to animals, I suggest you look away now. 4 Gore Drinker Axe attacks here, hitting on 4s, and 3 of them will go through on the poor little Pooch. These will be wounding on 2s because of the whopping plus tons of strength, and all of them will go through. One of them is rending and the other two are regular damage too. So we have a whopping 5, 6, 7 damage here. 7 damage into the pooch and he is obliterated. Again, apologies for those of you out there who are dog lovers. I am not. I am a cat person. So I do not feel bad about this happening. Consolidation from the Beastman champion as he bears down on these poor little Ratlings. A cool check is made from the Ratling leader here to avoid breaking down in tears on his knees as he sees his pooch obliterated. Retaliation comes in the form of mining laser now. Under pressure, the Ratling with the mining laser folds badly. The Beastman leader then stands and uses his combat shotgun to do exactly the same as before onto the newly deployed Ratling ganger. Auto hitting, we get 5 hits at strength 2 here, wounding on 4s. 3 of these will go through. 3 5-up saves to make on this poor Ratling, and 1 of them will be saved. 2 of these will be injury dice now. 2 flesh wounds is enough to extinguish this poor Ratling's life as the smell of burnt bacon grows thick in the air. Another shot now from a Ratling ganger, aiming and shooting in close range, needing a 2 to hit on this Beastman champion. The hit is good and the wound roll is not successful. Cool check to be made for Nerves of Steel and the Beastman champion is still standing. The Billy Goat Beastman champion goes for another sprint now on his little hooves, 12 inches under the bridge. There are no trolls under this bridge. Repositioning, another Ratling ganger then shoots at the first Beastman champion in an effort to save his leader. At short range, this hit will go through. The wound roll is also good on a 4. Boxcars rolled on the nerve check here, and this Beastman champion is never pinned. But he does take a wound for his troubles. The Beastman specialist with 1 toughness left stands and aims to smash this second loot casket. Needing a 2+ here, the smash is successful. 4+ is passed and another point goes to the Beastmen as they are 2-0 in this encounter. The sniper Ratling champion aims and shoots into cover. Needing a 3+, the hit is successful. Only a 2+ to wound now and a 5 is rolled. And a skull is rolled and that is a Beastman exterminated. Some would say he deserved it. A move action from the double flesh wounded Beastman ganger. Aiming and shooting, another hot shot las round goes into the Beastman Gore Drinker champion. The hit is good, but the wound roll is not made. Is the champion pinned is the question, and an 8 is rolled, and this guy is unpinnable in this game. If you ever doubted Nerves of Steel, all you need to do is watch this battle report, it seems. Second pinned Beastman ganger gets up and takes a move action. And in response to that, the Ratling ganger on the bridge now takes a reposition and shoot action. With this guy being flesh wounded, the hit is good. Wounding on a 3 here, this is also successful. Straight to injury and another flesh wound is dished out. Hard for the Beastmen without Nerves of Steel to make progress in this game. The insane Ratling now rolls a 4 and is controlled by the enemy for a second consecutive turn. Confused and bewildered, he moves and takes a shot up at his friend and ally in the yellow t-shirt. Rhubarb against Custard, a 3+ to hit. Rhubarb destroys Custard with a 6 to hit. Wounding on a 2 with a 4 rolled. A serious injury from Ratling to Ratling in this nasty, vicious encounter. That was a huge turn, lots and lots and lots of pain dished out by both sides, but I have to say the Beastmen are in good position at this point. Of course, if the Beastmen do get priority in this turn, you can pretty much guarantee we have a dead Ratling leader on our hands. Now for bottle checks. Beastmen will bottle on a 6 and a 3 is rolled. They are good. Recovery for the poor Ratling shot by his own mate. And a skull is rolled. Oof, that is Custard out of the game. Things are going from bad to worse in this game for the Ratlings. Now for priority, the Ratlings need it, but the Beastmen get it. It's hard to watch as the Beastman champion, who remains unpinnable in this game, takes a charge action into the Ratling leader now. 4 attacks will be hitting on 3s and 2 of them will go through. Wounding on 2s and both of these do go through. The leader has 3 wounds and this is 4 damage, so 2 wounds are taken and 2 injury rolls are made here. With 2 serious injuries and toughness 2, this is enough to take the Ratling leader out of the game as he is eviscerated by the Gore Drinker axe. The Ratlings now have no leadership. Can they pull together and see this through? Consolidation in towards this loot casket, ready to smash next turn. Seeing his leader get eviscerated, the mining laser aims and fires. The hit is good, the wound roll is good, but due to true grit, we roll 2 and pick the best. A serious injury now on this Beastman champion in vengeance for his leader being taken out of the game. Finally, a chunk taken out of this Beastman champion. Beastman Ganger moves through the doorway into the clearing and shoots into the back of the red beanied insane Ratling Ganger with his stub cannon here. Needing a 4, the hit goes wide. And on that note, the insane fighter freaks out and rolls his D6 insanity check. He rolls a 6, which means he can act normally this turn. However, he needs to pass a willpower check at the end to lose his insanity marker. The red beanied Ratling Ganger turns on the spot and shoots point blank into the face of this goat, needing a 3 to hit here, and the hit is good. Needing a 2+ to wound, and a 1 is rolled unfortunately. A pinned Beastman Ganger. Second action is to move 4 inches further round into cover and retreat back into safety. To lose the insanity marker now, we need to pass a willpower check, and a 9 will do it. This fighter is no longer insane. Beastman leader, watching this action happen, then tries to outflank the now uninsane Ratling by moving around the edge of the board with a move. Aiming and shooting the sniper down into the prone Beastman with 2 flesh wounds. Hitting a 2+, the hit is good. A 2+ to wound, and a 3 will make it. Another damage dice and a serious injury is dished out. Double flesh wounded and now seriously injured, this Beastman is on his last hooves. He responds by crawling further into cover. To rub further salt into the wound, another Ratling now shoots into the prone fighter. Hitting on a 5, it is good. A 2 to wound here is successful. Another injury roll is a flesh wound. And that will be enough to finish this Beastman off in the end phase. The last Beastman to go is the champion under the bridge, and he takes his sprint action to go 12 inches up into the center of the board with an effort to come round the back and flank this mining laser. The Ratling closer to him shuffles forward, hearing something coming behind him, and takes a shot at the Beastman champion. He won't hit with the 2 though. The Ratling on top of the cargo container then shoots down into the prone and already pretty much out of the game goat on the floor down there, needing a 3 to hit. The hit is good, the wound is good, and a skull is rolled, the second casualty for the Beastmen in this game, as the Ratlings chip away at these goats. At the end of that turn, things are looking pretty dire for the Ratlings still. They could now bottle with a failure on a bottle check. However, they do roll 2d6 and discard the highest. And the Beastmen are doing pretty well. All they need to get here is 1 more loot crate, and they are winning this game. A seriously injured champion on the ground here. Should he recover, he may be able to stand and smash that loot crate. The Ratlings do not bottle with a 1. And the Beastmen roll a 1 as well. Neither of these gangs will bottle at this phase. Will play the next turn through. The injury roll for the Beastman champion is a flesh wound, and he is recovered and back in this game. It is on. And the priority roll goes to the Ratlings. Previously insane Ratling shuffles back 4 inches and takes a shot at the Beastman leader. Needing a 3+ to hit, we get a 5. Wounding on a 4, and no wound roll is going through. But that is a pinned Beastman leader. The Beastman leader stands and aims a salvo shot into the Ratling now. Needing a 4 to hit, we roll a 1, and the shot goes wide. Mining laser time now, shooting into the prone Beastman champion, and another big miss comes through in this encounter. Poor shooting from these Ratlings. The Beastman champion stands and shuffles into position next to the loot crate in an effort to smash next turn. All fire stations into this champion in an effort to take him down towards the end of this game. Aiming and shooting, hitting with a 6 here. The wound roll is also good. Another flesh wound, and this champion is not even going prone. 1 wound taken and 3 flesh wounds, and he really is on his last hooves. The last remaining Beastman ganger stands and takes a move action. Another Ratling ganger aiming and shooting into the Beastman champion. And another one is rolled. A huge miss for these Ratlings. Of course, the Ratlings now have even more of a problem. With their backs turned, the champion flanks them, comes up the stairs and shoots a stub gun shot into the back of the mining laser champion. Peekaboo, says the goat, hitting on a 3 with his stub gun. Strength 3 against toughness 2 will be wounding on a 3. Does not wound the mining laser, thankfully, but he is pinned for his troubles. In response to that, a Ratling ganger on top of the bridge repositions and shoots down into the champion. Needing 3s to hit here, the hit is good. The wound roll, however, is no good. Again, Nerves of Steel comes up trumps in this contest. Last, but by no means least, we have an aim and shoot from the sniper up on the top of the building into the champion now, in an effort to finish this goat off. 2 up needed and a 6 is a hit. Ammo check here though. He's still got his hotshot power packs. Wound roll is good. This could be it for the first Beastman champion as he takes the flesh wound. With only toughness 1, he is gone from the game. Pest control from the Ratlings, and that could potentially save the game. If not for that shot at the end there, the Ratlings are looking like they are in trouble. With only 1 more loot casket to be gained for the Beastmen, what is going to happen in the next turn? The Ratlings still have 6 fighters. 1 of them is pinned, and if priority is gained by the Beastmen, he is also absolute mush. Bottle check for the Ratlings is good. The Beastmen will bottle on a 4 up, and they do. So the Beastmen have bottled in this game. This could change things a little. The Beastmen also pass their bottle check, so both gangs remain in this game as we see it through. Priority now, and the Beastmen get it again in a pivotal turn here. Naturally, the Beastman champion that remains with the 2-handed hammer takes a charge action into the pinned mining laser champion. The Ratling champion stands and receives a 2-handed hammer to the teeth. 4 attacks at -1 to hit. 2 will go through. These will be wounding on 2s, and both will go through for a whopping 6 damage. No need to roll all the dice here as this poor Ratling champion is turned into paste. The Beastman champion then consolidates into the loot crate. Red Beanie Ratling ganger shoots his hotshot las gun into the Beastman leader, hitting but triggering an ammo check. The ammo check is good. We will wound with a 5. Beastman leader is wounded and pinned. Second activation is to further retreat 4 inches. The Beastman ganger shuffles over in towards the red beanied Ratling and shoots his stub cannon off. Hitting a 4 to hit, a 2 is unsuccessful. Beastmen not known for their shooting prowess. All fire into this champion now this turn. Aiming and shooting, needing a 2+, a 6 is good with an ammo check, and the hotshot lasgun is out of ammo. Wounding on a 4, a 1 is rolled, and this Beastman champion is very lucky. Nerves of Steel check is a 10, and he is still standing. The Beastman leader stands and uses his telepathy to trigger hallucinations onto the red beanied Ratling. Needing a 7+ here, a double 1 is rolled, triggering Perils of the Warp again. Perils of the Warp comes up as the same as before, a 10, so he gets another chance to bring this power off, however, goes prone and pinned and takes a strength 4 hit at the end of this activation. The power does not go off, and a wound is taken on the leader, giving him a flesh wound this time. Seems to be better at hurting himself than Ratlings at this point. Short range shot going into the back of the Beastman champion now, aiming and shooting on a 2+, and hits with a 5. And another unsuccessful wound roll. Cool check is successful, and Nerves of Steel again comes up trumps. The last Ratling to go is the Sniper champion, who shimmies over and takes a shot into the Beastman champion. Now there is a little bit of cover at this angle. Hitting on a 3, a 5 is a hit. Wounding on a 4, and the wound roll is no good. Nerves of Steel again keeps this fighter on his hooves. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Nerves of Steel is the best skill in the game. Lots of craziness had in that turn as well, but we're still going in this encounter. Perils of the Warp coming up a second time and wounding the Beastman leader. This could be pivotal. It's all down to the dice now. Neither the Beastmen or the Ratlings bottle at this point either, and priority will go to the Ratlings this turn. Close range shot into the back of the champion now. Aiming, shooting, and hitting with a 5. Wounding on a 4 is unsuccessful yet again. Cool check for Nerves of Steel is a nipples, and this will be a fail. He does go prone eventually. Now for the big one, the Beastman champion stands and attempts to smash this loot casket. 2+ to smash, a 5 is successful. Does he get the point though? A 4+ and a 2 is rolled. He does not get the point. The game is still on. Another close range las hot shot here. Aiming, shooting, and hitting on a 4. Wounding on a 4 is unsuccessful. And the fighter passes his Nerves of Steel yet again. Beastman Ganger attempts a charge now. Rolling a 3, he gets a 7-inch charge, and he is into combat with the red beanied Ratling. It doesn't look good for the Ratlings. Can little red beret survive? 3 attacks hitting on 3s, and none of them go through. The Beastman fails. And the little Ratling gets to hit back with 1 hit now on a 5. Rolling a 6, he slaps the Beastman in the mouth. Can he do this? Strength 2 against now toughness 2. We're wounding on 4s, and a 4 is rolled. Flak armor save is not passed, and this is through to injury on the goat. The injury roll comes up as a serious injury from a Ratling in close combat reaction. A huge moment for the Ratlings here. Certainly not the typical outcome from a charge from a Beastman against a toughness 1 Ratling. Of course, the Ratling then goes and uses his coup de grace to take the Beastman out of the game. This absolute legend is then going to pop off a shot into the pinned Beastman leader. He's going to be hitting on a 3+, a 5 is good. He wounds with a 4. Another injury roll to be made. And a flesh wound is dished out. Fantastic turn for this little tiny Ratling. Out of range on all of his weapons, the Beastman leader, really pissed off at this point, stands and does another weird power here. Needing a 7+ on his willpower. This is good, which means this young fella is insane for the second time in this game. Another aim and shoot now from a Ratling Ganger. This will hit on a 6. Wounding on a 4, it is no good. Is the Beastman champion pinned? He is not, and Nerves of Steel comes up again. The last Ratling to go aims and shoots into the champion. He hits with a 6, fails the ammo check and has run out of hotshot power packs. And only a 1 to wound again. Can't do anything against this champ. And Nerves of Steel this time does not work, and the champion goes pinned. Big turn for the Ratlings in this one. The prone Beastman could still stand and smash the crate next turn, however. The brave Ratling that took out a Beastman in close combat reaction is now insane. Beastman leader is double flesh wounded and wounded. Bottle checks to be made now. And the Beastmen will bottle out in this game. The Ratlings, however, stick around. Priority roll goes to the Beastmen. The leader's cool check is a 5, and he just passes to stick around. Huge roll here for the champion's cool check. 6 up needed, and he rolls an 8. Priority going to the Beastmen. Of course, the champion stands and aims to smash this last loot crate. Smashes the crate on a 3, and a 6 is rolled for the third and final point for the Beastmen. So the Beastmen will win this game should they stick around to the end. The insane Ratling is broken now and runs for cover. The Beastman leader goes for a big double move trot. Another aim and shoot into the Beastman champion will miss with a 1. Another Ratling shoots, needing a 2+. He hits with a 6, triggering an ammo check. The ammo is passed. Wound roll is no good. Cool check on the champion is passed for Nerves of Steel again. Another shoot, aiming now, needing a 2+, and a 1 is a wide miss. Terrible shooting from the Ratlings in these last few turns. With no ammo, the sniper now takes an ammo check and fails the first one and fails the second one. Still out of ammo. So technically at this point the Beastmen have won as it stands, should they stick around till the end of the game. The game doesn't stop now though, it is last man standing. Can the Ratlings hold out in this one? The Ratlings need to make a bottle check here. They roll 2d6 and pick the lowest. They will pass it on a 3. The Ratlings will now get priority. Cool checks for the Beastmen to stick around. The leader has a cool of 5+, and he fails with a 3. Off he goes. Now for the big one, a 6+ call to be made on the last man standing for the Beastmen. And of course he passes with a 9. Close range shot going into the back of the Beastman champion now. Again, another miss from the Ratlings. Terrible, terrible shooting. Naturally, we have a charge action across as his base does make it across the gap. The goat is really pissed off at this point. Charging across the gap into base-to-base contact, he now gets 4 attacks with his two-handed hammer. 2 of these hits will go through. Wounding on 2s, both of these will go through for a whopping 6 damage. No need to really roll these dice, but this Ratling has been squashed flat. Beastman champion then consolidates in towards the edge of the gantry. Another one bites the dust. Ratling Ganger is still broken in this case and goes 7 inches away from the threat. He gets to roll a willpower check to see if he's still insane, and the willpower check is good. Insanity marker removed. Another shot needing a 2+ into the back of the Beastman champion. Another one comes up, and another huge miss for the Ratlings. Another shot coming in, needing a 2+. This time, this one hits on a 5. Getting a 4 to wound. Unfortunately, this does not go through. Does the Beastman champion pass the cool check to remain standing? He does not. Initiative check on the edge to see if he falls. The initiative check fails, and the Beastman is now in relative safety out of the way of all the las guns. Ammo checks for the champion now. Fails the first, and fails the second with another 1 for these poor Ratlings. More 1s coming in for the Ratlings. At the end of that turn, we have 4 Ratlings remaining in the game. One of them is out of ammo. The other has stopped being insane. Now for the bottle check for the Ratlings, and they will fail in this. Both gangs have failed their bottle check and will need to take cool checks at the beginning of next turn. Priority goes to the Ratlings, so they will roll first. Formerly insane Ratling needs a 7+ to pass. He passes just with a 7, sticks around in this game. What an absolute champion this guy has been. A cool of 6 for the Ratling champion, who easily passes with an 11. 7+ needed for the blue jumper, who fails with a 5 and is Gomburger. And the last Ratling Ganger is also gone, rolling a 5. So 2 out of 4 gone now. This is the crucial roll, a cool check for the last remaining Beastman to stick around in this game. And he fails with a 5 just slightly, and the game is over. The Ratlings win by technicality, having 2 fighters remaining on the field of battle. The Beastmen did everything they could to win this. They got all 3 of the loot crates and should probably normally win this one. And I think in a campaign, the Ratlings probably would have bottled out voluntarily way before this, but they will stick around, see it through, and win this game against the Beastmen. Wow, what a game. I'm exhausted after this one. What an awesome game this was. I was so happy to pit my Ratlings against my Beastmen, and I knew this was going to be a close one. Lots and lots of bad shooting from the Ratlings, if I'm honest. On another day, perhaps they would have done more with their shooting. A lot of 1s were rolled, but the Beastmen were awesome. Nerves of Steel, really proving why it's the best skill in the game. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Anyway, please do comment down below, like, share, subscribe. Feel free to send me a super thanks and check out the Patreon as well. These battle reports take a lot of work and a lot of editing, so I hope you appreciate this one. I really did enjoy it though. Anyway, that's it for now. I will be back with another one real soon. Peace out.